Hey guys, Joshua Peterson, Peterson Electric's second part to this video on multi-tie CH combo type breakers. This is a 15 amp 2-pole arc fault. As you can see, there's single poles and 2 poles. That's because it shares a multi in the black and the red, and the neutral goes down. The issues I was having with 38 and 40, once I cleaned all this up and put the breakers in, and by the way, these are super expensive. Once I put these together, 38 was tripping on the neutral ground touching. 39 and 41 were not tripping until we turned on 33. Once we turned on 33, these would trip because the neutrals were shared. Also, I had a back feed to the panel, which really wasn't a back feed because this was dead. This is now what I showed you in the other video. The new circuit is going to be 34. But that neutral was tied to the bus bar. So the reason why we hit one dimmer switch and turned it on, the multi-tripped, was because we were backfeeding on a neutral that was doing nothing in a panel. You're still taking a separate path. You can't do that with your current flow. Again, this has got 10 circuits feeding the basement, 8 home runs and 10 circuits. One of them is not because of the fact that it's a furnace, circuit 3. The rest of them all are going to be arc fault and GFI. You could do a multi-combo with the GFI AFCI, which is a dual function breaker. You could do that, but we're not. We have the GFIs and the outlets downstairs in the bathroom in the storage area. The rest of it is all going to be just AFCI because we don't need to complicate it more. But again, we did have issues with grounds and neutrals touching. We had issues with back-fed neutral to the panel. We had an issue with just a neutral fed by itself. And then we had issues with once we turned one hot on, the other trip because it was sharing with that neutral. So there was multiple things going on in this basement besides how it was cut in and the grounds were kind of made up bad. All of that is an issue. So the city needed someone to clean this up, so we came in to do that because he hired us, and then now we're putting in TR plugs so we can pass inspection. This video was done of September 2018. Code is 2017 NEC, just so you have a reference. Other than that, yeah, so this is another thing that I'm going to be looking for before I clean up. I was having this guy blink. I actually quit blinking once I reset it, so we're good. So again, testing your sequence and cleaning up this panel is also a very good thing. Making sure your wires are tight, because if they're not or the breaker's loose, that's just going to add to your confusion. Again, we're going to be about 6 hours in this job to trace everything out. We had the other day we had about 2 and 4 today. Now we got to go through and put it all back in the wall, put in TR plugs, make sure that as we put in our TR plugs that nothing's tripping. Yeah, I do suggest you turn it off. I typically try to do some things hot with my gloves just to put the plugs back in to make sure did I touch anything as I put it in or did something flicker using my light bulbs. Some of you guys have given me those videos on don't use your light bulb because I did a video 6 years ago that you guys keep getting hung up on. You're right. We could do that with a 2-pole and trace it. And I did do that. I traced out making sure I did neutral to ground, and that's what helped me on a power circuit. But if you do neutral ground continuity test with your multimeter and you're doing that with light bulbs, that's going to do you a damn bit of good. Well, I'll just unscrew the light bulb. That helps you on the grounded conductor, the white, and if you're going to the ungrounded conductor, the hot or the black or the red, yes, that helps. But it doesn't help when you're going neutral to ground. Why? Because your ground is coming through. It still can feed through a breaker if the breaker neutral is there and it's on. And it can still backfeed through the ground, and you're still backfeeding through these 2 bars. So if you're picking up 60 ohms, that just means you're reading through a bunch of light bulbs, and it looks like it's tripping because of that. You really have to find the beginning of that circuit to the home run to the panel, then start dissecting your neutrals, then dissect your grounding EGC bare copper conductors. Once you separated all those power switch legs going out, maybe it's just a can or a thermal fuse blowing, who knows? But the point is that you can use a couple methods. Use the light bulb that just plugs in, use a light bulb that has the test leads, use your multimeter, use your toner. I used all 4 meters, that I call meters, on this, and it worked well. It sped up the process. What really helped is a homeowner also remembering things that he did and gave me history rather than just saying, here's the door number to my garage, and go ahead and let yourself in and figure it out. It just helps us know history, helps us to know what he remembered. He drew a map for me. He labeled a couple things that he already knew for the last 2 weeks when I waited to get back here. That really helped out. And then my wife, she just stood up here and just kept resetting breakers. That was awesome just to correspond back and forth. It makes the process faster with 3 people, no doubt. So anyways, guys, this was probably one of my more difficult arc faults that I've ever dealt with, especially coming into a basement that's literally down below with all drywall and I can't get to anything wire to wire. Thank God nothing was put behind walls with splices, because then, boy, we're in really a lot of trouble. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Hopefully it'll help you out.